Good evening, folks. Thanks for joining us on the Coaches Show tonight. I'm Darren Zier. Joining me, as always, is head coach Ross Ells. And joining us for the second time this season is assistant coach Paul Markowitz. Before we talk about the highlights, Coach, first talk about Concordia. Was this the team that you expected to come out against?
Yeah, a little bit better defensively than I thought, Darren. They played awful well. This is probably the hardest hitting defense we've played all year. Brad Levine got knocked out with a concussion. Josh Miller was hit hard. Travis Susi was hit hard. I mean, these kids came out and played well. The wing T offense, we did a good job defending that. As we talked last week, that was a big concern for us, being able to handle all the misdirection, and really defensively we played well enough to get that shutout. That was a nice one.
Okay, our highlights are quite extensive tonight, so without further ado, let's go ahead and go to the first half highlights.
We're going to start out. Concordia won the toss, and they elected to receive. Ryan Carlson kicking the ball down to the middle of the field. Now, we wanted to kick away from this kid, number 4, Erwin Hayes. By far, Concordia's best athlete on the offensive side of the ball, and you see why there. Gets a nice return out to the 37-yard line. Justin Moorhead was the tackle. Here's a good look at what you're seeing with the wing T offense. You'll see this a lot. Guards pulling, a lot of misdirection. On that play, Brad Bailey and Danny Williams come in and tackle. They went to their short passing game. This kind of made a tough day for Erwin Hayes. Josh Reynolds with a great hit to get the ball out, and later on, it's not on this highlight reel, but he drops one on the 2-yard line that he probably would have walked in and scored. So I think he was a little bit gun-shy after that. Again, our corners are playing well in the short passing game.
As we get started here, we get the ball about the 35-yard line and go right into our option game, and it looked like early on they wanted to get the ball out of Miller's hands, which is okay with us as long as we can get people covered up, and we pitched the ball to Susi and did a good job on the outside with our wide receivers throwing key blocks, and it's about a 20-yard gain just getting started. Here we're trying to run off tackle. They really jammed the off tackle hole, and Susi he has enough speed to get outside, and he beats the free safety on this occasion and is able to get us down to about the 25-yard line. Back to the option game, and we get inside, and it's an adjustment that we had made, getting an opportunity to keep the ball in Josh's hands, and he picks up a nice gain for us. Here again, they're really loaded inside, and we short sprint to the outside, and they're giving us a little bit of room out there with Mark, where they're giving us 6 or 7 yards. We're going to take that almost any time we can get it. We get back in our power set down around the 1-yard line, and our guys up front do a good job, a lot of push. Travis does a good job running the ball in. That's a big set for us. Haven't used it very much this year. Used it a lot with David Lewis a lot last year, and hopefully as we get to the middle of the season here, when we start playing against a tougher competition, it's a set we're going to use. There's Carlson there with the extra point.
Concordia's second possession, you'll see the sweep coming to the outside. Lance Bailey actually gets knocked down, but he does get up and lead the tackle. We're getting very good pursuit to the football. You need that in a misdirection offense. You need to make sure it's just not a one-on-one type of tackle. Here's another play off of their misdirection. They run a shovel pass, and Mark Herbeck's right there to sniff it out and get him down. We will go to our first pressure on the evening. We start sending linebackers, and they turn one of our defensive tackles loose. Sean Lorenzano does a great job of beating his man, getting in and getting the first sack of the ball game. Actually, we moved Concordia backwards in that offensive series and forced them to punt the football. Not great on the punt return today, or on Saturday. I thought we might be able to break one or at least get a little bit more yardage. We just weren't able to do it. We're setting up the wall to our right side. As you see there, and Jeremy's one guy short of being able to get outside, which is most of the case most of the night.
We started a second series after, again, being pretty happy with our first one, and they're really loaded inside again, and we get into a different set that they haven't seen yet, and we're just running the wide receiver screen where we try to get one of our speeder wide receivers, Rorik Siebert, outside and try to stalk on a corner and a safety and see if we can pop him through. We're able to pick up a first down here. Here we're running toss with Susi. He does a good job of cutting back. Coach made reference a little bit to Concordia being a hard-hitting team, and I'll tell you, it definitely was a hard-fought game that way in terms of being physical. Here you have Ryan Carlson with a 41-yard field goal. Gets us to 10-0. We're pretty happy at that point.
Ryan kicked the ball extremely well. I tell you what, he's done very well with his field goals. I mean, I think he's missed more extra points than he has field goals this year. Great kick by Ryan. Now we pin him deep and kick the ball to the guy. We don't kick it to Hayes. We kick it to the other guy. Hayes was lined up in the middle of the field, so we kicked away from him and ended up getting us a little better field position. Ryan Carr on the tackle. You see they'll go to their short passing game again, which you guys have seen this enough if you followed us at all. We're going to give up that little 5-yard stop, but they're going to be absolutely no yards after the catch. Frank Delbert does a good job defending on that play. Come with the bootleg play. We get it contained fairly well. Gary Emsinger does a good job of pulling up the quarterback. They're throwing to their 6'5" wide receiver here, Werdeman. He's about 6'5", 250 and plays wide out. Josh Reynolds does a good job getting position, getting the ball out. You're going to see our second sack of the ball game. Don Tomlinson, speed rushing from up top, gets the quarterback down. So we have another 3-and-out series. Again, they actually lose yards on that series, and they're forced to punt the football, again in decent field position. The wind wasn't much of a factor, so it really didn't matter which way we went. You see Concordia's new stadium there. This is their first game they've ever had under lights. That's something that they want to do, is finally get a night game in, and that's why we played this one in the evening.
As we start our third series of the quarter, we really wanted to establish that we could be able to run the football and be physical with them, regardless of how many that they put in the box. And I think here we're just running an ISO play, and we get great push up front. Johnny Morris does a great job on the lead block, and Travis does a good job of getting into the cutback alley. You're going to see here, we bumped up the third down, and it's 3rd and long. We put ourselves in some bad situations, and you're going to see it a lot more in the second half with just some penalties that took away first downs or first down opportunities and forced us to punt or put us in turnover situations, which made things real tough for us.
Concordia now, when they get the ball back, lines up in what was a throwing formation for them and runs a veer option, which sometimes can be tough to defend, but again, good pursuit by the defense. Andrew Doty and Josh Reynolds coming up and making the play on the pitch man. That fooled us a little bit, but we ended up adjusting that fairly well. Now they're getting back into their drop back game. We're getting them out of the wing tee. That's what we wanted to do, force them to throw the football. Frank Jalbert, who's again played well for us now for 2 years, comes in and knocks the ball away and forces them to punt deep again in their own territory, giving good field position to our offense. Again, we're not going to get a great return here. We want a man return now instead of a wall. But the key is Jeremy caught the ball, fair caught it. They actually get a penalty, and we get pretty good field position.
Here you see us starting off this drive, and Travis Soucy doing a good job here, using vision and his quickness to get himself inside. Here again, we're just working the wide receiver screen here now with Brad Levine. He does a great job of picking up the first down for us. Gives us an opportunity to do a lot of different things. Now we hop into that formation that we've motioned to. We know how they're going to adjust, and we just run kind of a short dump play here to Borchter, and Mark does something that you don't see him do very often, and it's something that he does pretty well, is run after the catch and picks up a touchdown for us. It almost was really almost a broken play, and he turns into a big play in the touchdown for us.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Darren, those 17 points really made a difference in the game. Concordia's wing tee offense is based on controlling the football, controlling the clock, taking their time, and just going down and scoring. And they weren't able to do that. They were down 17 zips so early, they had to go to a throwing game. They had to get out of the wing tee, and it really made a difference. So for our offense to put the points on the board, I thought that was crucial, and it got them out of their game plan. You're going to see another good kickoff return by Mr. Hayes. Again, he's a big talent. Ryan Carlton is the guy who actually gets him down here. We have 3 safeties, and he's the one that finally gets him down. But now they have good field position, and they're running. They start going to a little bit of isolation play. They put Hayes in the backfield, and usually he'd been a wingback or a wide receiver. Part of these are my fault. We're moving our offensive linemen opposite the direction that they're running the ball, and it's creating some gaps inside. Jim Jones folds inside, but Concordia is now moving the ball, getting it into their territory. They have a chance to make a 32-yard field goal, and it just shows how important a kicker is for you. That's one that he should have made, and he pulled it to the left.
With about 7 minutes to go, what we were trying to do was to just keep field position and keep our defense out of a bad situation. Here we're running the G option, and you see Josh Miller, and one of the things that he does really well, he just has great vision and gets himself back all the way into an alley that not a lot of people can get themselves to. Picks us up a first down. Here's a play we just put in for Concordia, anticipating that they would not adjust. They didn't. We actually have 4 blockers out in front off of a trip set, and we're running motion to it. Unfortunately, again, we put ourselves in a bad situation with penalties, probably holding on to a ball just a little bit too long on a 3rd and long situation where they're really back and their defense is set, and puts our defense in a bad position, what we really weren't looking to do there, instead of just trying to eat some clock and get into the half.
Well, here they go again. This is the kickoff return this time. Like Mark said, after the interception, they come back and run the isolation play. Now they're inside the 30-yard line, driving down. Andrew Doty with the play there. Short passing game. Here they do get yards after the tackle. Not a very good break by our corner and safety to that side. They're going to hit a sweep play to the outside, but Mark Herbeck stuffs it. They have 4th and 1 on the 2-yard line here. We run a blitz, and Sean Lorenzano and Doug Taverdi come through to keep them out of the end zone. I tell you what, I was happy with the way our kids played in the red zone. They had 2 opportunities to score there in the second half, and they were denied both times.
You don't see here, but this is the end of the half, and we had run 2 plays before this that we were pretty happy with. We had 1st and 10 with a lot of time left. They had a couple of timeouts left where if we were to go 3 and out, they were going to stuff us. We were able to pick up a 1st down on 2 heavy running plays for us. Got us into the half, and I think we made some good adjustments and tried to talk about the things in terms of the penalties and things like that. You see our kickoff return there, as well as our defense is playing. We only had the 1 shot at it. It's a unit that we're trying to improve on. We're working real hard on it, but
I hope we continue getting very many reps of that.
You see Josh Miller there. We're running a G ISO play that we had put in at the half. Again here, throwing on 1st down, trying to get them kind of defensively, thinking a little bit more. Here's G ISO again, which is more of an option play, but it's a key play for Miller, where we try to wall some people and block them in. A Q screen there, again, the wide receiver screen, and again, we're getting ourselves in trouble with penalties. And that's a 1st down, and on Saturday night, there were 5 occasions where we gave up 1st downs due to holding or just stupid penalties that we didn't wind up picking those up.
And that'll kill you. I mean, offensively, we played well. You take away those 5 penalties, we put a lot of points on the board. But you can't do that. You play a good football team, and that's going to cost us some games. So we've been working on that, keeping the hands inside, and it's just a technique thing, where we're not moving our feet, getting in position, etc. Here goes Hayes around the outside. Frank Jalbert and Mark Herbeck finally get him down, but you can see what happens when that kid gets the ball. Coach Meyer, Concordia's coach, said before the game they were going to find ways to get him the ball, and they certainly did. You're going to see a couple plays now where they go to the short passing game again. They catch the ball there, fine, just no yards after catch. 3rd and 3, they're going to come back to this side now. Good rally by Jalbert and Brad Bailey to get him down. They're going to run a bootleg play, and we're going to sniff this one out pretty good. We stay home down here with the defensive end, and there's nowhere for him to run the football. Actually, Herbeck comes up, and Gary Ensinger finally is the guy who gets him down. Good play by Gary. Now they're going to go back to their short passing game to the top of the screen. Great hit by Reynolds. Ball comes out, and the receiver makes a catch. What a great play. We got to get Josh to get rid of the kid's hands when that happens. You're going to get a sweep play now down here to the bottom. Lance Bailey does a good job taking the guard and turning it inside. Mark Herbeck makes a tackle for a little bit of a loss. We're in our punt safe. We have our defense out there. We don't even have our punt return in there, and Concordia's going to fake the punt. Snap it to the up back, give it on the wing back for a trap, and I believe that was Danny Williams that comes in and makes a play. I was surprised that they actually ran the fake when we were in punt safe, but that was a good one. Again, momentum breaker for our team.
Here we start running the ball out of our option look and really trying to get something going offensively. We come out in the second half and not playing as well as we need to. Here we rip off about 20 yards, Josh Miller there. We do a good job dealing with the pressure on the sprint out, and he hits Brad Levine again. Another 1st down, and we're doing a good job now again of moving the sticks. Here you see Bo Biankowski on a toss play, does a good job with the dip move, kind of gets himself some room, picks up about 8. And then here it leads to this field goal here by Carlson. Again, happy to have something on board. Obviously, you want touchdowns, but to get back on the scoring track again and get ourselves to the point where we're almost to 3 scores ahead, which we start to feel a little bit more comfortable.
There's 2 field goals for Ryan. Done a good job. That was a 27-yard field goal, and he's getting to the point now where he lines up, and we just assume it's going in. Okay, here goes Hayes again. Nice return. Justin Moorhead again on the tackle. I'd like Justin to make a lot of tackles, but if it was 20 yards down or before that, it would have been a lot better. Here you see again a couple penalties that we're having trouble with. At the end of the game, it got real sloppy. I'm not going to say anything bad about Concordia, but there were times where I think they were a little bit frustrated, and we retaliated. We just got to be able to walk away, and get over those kind of things. They're going to run the isolation play now back to our strong side, and goodness, we got a lot of people there. I think our kids did a good job of preparing themselves mentally, knowing what plays we were going to see out of each of the formations, and being able to stop it. They go with the punt return. Great kick by their punter. Gets us all the way back inside the 40-yard line. And I thought we'd have to be able to start the ball in our territory. We weren't able to do it.
as much as we've been running the G option and the G option look, we thought that they'd stick their free safety in and try to make a play, so we ran play action pass off it. Mark does a good job of doing what he does best, using his body to go up and get the ball. Big play for us there. Again, trying to short sprint again with Miller. Got a couple of wide receivers out there, sees an opening and does what he does best in the open field and gets it down to about the 5-yard line. Here, I believe we're running a G option play. As we check the G option down on the goal line, which is a good check by Josh Miller. Good takedown to Biankowski. He does a good job of getting himself into the end zone. Puts us to the point where we're at 26-0. Feeling a little bit better. I think a little bit sigh of relief after the way the second half had started. Here we're going for two, kind of a strange situation. We want to work here with Brad Levine. They don't cover him, and we change to a play that we were hoping that he'd be even more open. He winds up running into all the clutter in the area where they didn't cover him, but kind of one of those live and learn type situations, and we need to make adjustments that way.
End of the third, watch Jake Stutzman on the bottom of your screen here blow up this wedge. Great job of taking a guy out. I'd like him to get more than one, and here he is again, Justin Moorhead with the tackle on the kickoff. A lot better coverage there. You're going to see a screen play now up on the top of your screen. Andrew Doney and Josh Reynolds breaking on it well. They're motioning guys out of the backfield again, getting completely out of their Wayne T type of scheme, which is nice for our standpoint. We like teams that have to throw the football to win. They're going to motion a guy in the backfield, run bootleg. Jake Stutzman, Mike linebacker, gets great depth, gets a hand on the ball and tips that thing out before Mr. Hayes could catch it. We get good pursuit on a running play now. They run a little trap play inside. Unfortunately, we miss a couple tackles. Finally, Don Tomlinson and Jake Stutzman end up on the tackle. You're going to see a pass play now coming up. Again, a nice short pass play. Unfortunately, Josh went over the back of the receiver and got there before the ball did. It was called on interference. The run play now, the counter boot. Good job by Mark Wemhoff was contained. Great play by their quarterback getting it to the wide receiver. But again, the short passing game when you're up 26-0 isn't going to beat you. We feel pretty comfortable about what's going on right now. We start bringing a little bit of pressure. We get upfield a little bit more, and they pop a little trap on us and cut it all the way back. Now it's time to start bringing some meat. You know, we're tired of them driving the ball, and Andrew Doty gets a great sack for probably about a 15-yard loss. That got them completely out of field goal range. Then they had an unsportsmanlike penalty, which got them all the way back to their own 35. They get a decent punt, but it goes out of bounds, and not bad field position for our offense compared to what it could have been right before that sack.
We start this series, and again, we're in one more set with our first team, trying to just end on a good note. We run short sprint, a good ball to Brad Levine, a pickup of about 9 yards. Third and short, a play that we run quite a bit is with Johnny Morris inside. We just try to put man on man and try and get some push, and he finds himself a seam, picks up about 5 yards there. And then here, we're running the option play, and they finally play it pretty well, but part of the problem is he goes out of bounds. Apparently there's some extracurricular stuff there with some guys on the sidelines. We wind up picking up a first down. After our own penalty, we put ourselves in a bad situation on third down, and we have a breakdown in pass protection. And Josh gets a little shot in the back, and that's a little reminder to us that we probably needed at that point to get our first unit out of there so we don't put our guys in bad situations.
Like I said, they hit awful hard. And you see from this game, Herbeck there on a blitz and making the tackle. I'm not trying to take anything away from Concordia's defense, but we stopped ourselves as much as Concordia beat us. And you know, if we get those things taken care of again, I think it's a pretty good football team. Josh comes up, Josh Reynolds again on the little quick 90 pass there on the outside. They're going to run a bootleg, throw back to the middle of the field. I have a second team safeties in, Ryan Carr, he's got 2 years after this yet, guys. You're going to hear his name a ton. He's a very good player for us, plays a lot now. The problem is he's playing behind two seniors. Get a decent punt return here on the wall. Jeremy gets about 10 yards on it, and again, pretty good field position for our offense to take over.
We come out here, and Derek Rusher, junior quarterback, takes over for us. And you've got a lot of different personalities in there, a lot of different people that aren't used to playing together, and we have a little bit of a breakdown, winds up being a broken play. But he shows a lot of athletic ability in terms of just a little improvisation. He takes off, picks us up a first down on about a 15-yard carry.
You got to take credit for that. So you drew it up and you did it.
Yeah. Here we're running option, and Rush has got a lot of talent once he gets into the open field, does a pretty good job of weeding his way through. And again, we've got a lot of people that are not used to playing with each other. You lose a little bit of that cohesiveness. It's a tough way to end the ball game, but it gives those guys a lot of things to work on and look forward to.
Young kids in on defense, 5 minutes late. You'll see the corner down here. Kevin O'Donnell leverages the guard, but then doesn't make the play. He's got to be able to make the plays that goes outside. He'll learn that. Kevin's going to be another good player for us. Brian Cart to Sean Pine, the two safeties that are in right now, make the tackle. They're going to run a sweep now to the, I believe, the top of the screen to their little tailback. And again, we're just not taking the right leverage. The linebacker lets him get inside of him, but Travis Carlstrom, a junior linebacker for us, comes in, makes a good play. We have the blitz called, makes the quarterback get rid of it in a hurry. Nice break by O'Donnell, gets the ball out. Now we got a double coverage up top. Some of the things that we've been putting in this year, some of the double coverage. Frank Jalbert shouldn't let the guy inside, but he still gets the ball out. That was fourth down that they went for there. It was kind of nice to keep him out of the end zone still. We're going to stay out on defense. We go 3 and out on offense. They got a long way to go. Now we got a ton of young kids in at this time. Travis Carlstrom and Kevin O'Donnell with the tackle. You're going to see a hook and lateral, a short hitch to their big wideout. He's going to pitch it out to Hayes. We worked on that this week. They had shown that before. Now they're going to go with the short passing game. There's less than a minute left in the game. We're concerned on defense to preserve the shutout. You know, you see Brad Bailey jumping out there, number 23. We want that thing. And last year in the same situation, we had Concordia shut out. We put some backups in, and they scored on some of our backups. We wanted to make sure that didn't happen again. Jesse Shetler traveled for us, a freshman corner, another young player you'll see from a lot. And then we call a blitz. Travis Carlstrom with good pressure, and Kevin O'Donnell from Hastings High makes the interception to preserve the shutout.
And there's your final score, 26-0. That keeps the Broncos undefeated, and they also maintain their number 2 ranking in the NAIA. Coach, we're talking to Brad Bailey this week. Why don't you talk about him really quick here?
Brad is the quarterback of our secondary. He gets us lined up. He does a great job of making sure we get all the right checks because it can be fairly complex back there. The other thing is he's probably our best hitter in the secondary. We need him to stay healthy because he's a heck of a football player.
Okay, let's see what Brad had to say.
Brad Bailey. I'm a senior business administration major. This is my 4th year at Hastings College, and I play free safety.
How did you hear about Hastings College?
One day I was sitting in class, and our football coach sent a note down to me that our coach was here to see some players, and it was Barney Cotton. That was in '96. I went down to Coach's office, and there was about 3 of us that went in there with him, and I hadn't really thought about playing college football yet until I met Coach Cotton. And then I talked with them, and he told me what kind of defense they were planning on running, and thought that I'd fit well into their program. So I became a little interested and filled out a admissions form, and then he kept calling me, and we just went from there.
Why did you choose Hastings College?
I came out on a trip, and I liked it. I went to a basketball game and stayed with a guy, Bob Correa, who went to Millard North a few years before, and had a good time. And I liked the campus, and I liked the fact that it was only 150 miles from home.
Being a part of the football team last year, how did this year's team compare to last year's team in your opinion?
It doesn't seem much different at all. It seems like we've got most of the same people back. I guess this year the only difference is it seems like we've got a bigger goal. Last year we all wanted to win conference, and to go undefeated was just real nice for us, but I don't think we really expected to go undefeated. But this year it's kind of like anything less would be a disappointment.
Do you have any personal goals that you have set for yourself for this season? And are you on your way to achieving those goals?
Not especially. I didn't set any set goals for myself. I just wanted to come out and have a good senior year. I know it's the last time I'm going to play football, so I wanted to make the most of it. I think so far it's going pretty well. I've tried to play hard and tried to hit some people.
What are your plans after football is over?
Right now I'm planning to go back to Omaha and work. I'm not sure where or what I'm going to do, but thinking about starting my own sprinkler installation company.
After this year is over, what are some of the things that you will miss about playing a game of football, knowing that you'll never have the opportunity to play college football again?
Well, it's going to be sad. I can still remember, well, you know, on any nice day right now when I walk outside, it reminds me of Little League football, you know, playing that long ago. So I just know for the next however many years that I'm up and going, that when, you know, whenever I'm outside in the fall and it's nice outside, it's gonna feel like Saturday playing football.
Okay, that was senior Brad Bailey. Now let's go to some of the standings in the NIAC conference.
Darren, it's an awful good conference right now. As you see, there's 4 undefeated teams in the conference besides ourselves, Northwestern, Doane, and Midland. I think all 4 teams have a shot at something here. There's also 2 completely unbeaten teams, as you see. Hastings and Doane were both unbeaten. I think Doane's number 6 this week. We actually dropped to number 3, Darren, this week. Northwestern's, what are they, 19 or something like that. Midland's getting some votes, too. Tough conference. It's going to be a battle all the way down. You know, we've played Concordia and Indiana, who are down there a little bit, so we'll see what happens when we start playing the upper echelon of the conference.
Okay, right before we close here, Coach, talk about this week. Obviously, an exciting week going into your homecoming, last homecoming in A.H. Jones Stadium, and not only that, but against conference rival Doane.
Yeah, Doane is an awful good football program, as you know, and it's always a good battle between Hastings and Doane. It'll be interesting to see how this one turns out. Last year, you know, they took a big lead on us. We came back and won the football game. The key to us defensively, number one, we have to stop probably the best running back in the conference in Ramon Adams. He's leading the conference, and he's in the top 5 in the country in rushing, so we need to be able to stop that. Offensively, I think if we put the right hat on the right people, we'll be fine. We'll be able to move the ball a little bit. It's not going to be a high-scoring game, I don't think, on either side of the ball, and it'll probably come down to the wire.
Okay. Well, that will be this Saturday, 2:30 at A.H. Jones Stadium. Hastings Broncos will take on the Doane Tigers. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Coaches Show. For Paul Merkowitz, Coach Ross Ells, and myself, thanks. Have a good evening. See you next week.